If Haitian Jack was not here and alive, let's say he passed on,
Right.
would your answer be any different?
No, not at all. I'm not hiding anything for him. So Haitian Jack.
Haitian Jack. How do you first become aware of Haitian Jack, and what? Give me a brief history of like his.
So I was in a robbery squad for years, and I always knew who all like the big, robbers were out there. Said it was Tut, Jack, Nubs, who else? Scooter, all different kind of guys who were, extortion, ripping off drug dealers, whatever. And, I ran Jack's name in a database, and I saw like some kind of hold from INS, that's immigration. And I realized that he must have, even though he came to the United States when he was a young kid, he must have never become a citizen and then became a felon, and he was not eligible for citizenship.
I'm sorry, what year is this when you put it?
So this is going back around, I don't know, somewhere around 2000 or so. So I found out through the FBI that Jack was hanging out in Los Angeles, and that I should contact a detective from the LA Sheriff's named Mark Gaiman. So I called Mark up. I said, hey, I'm looking at this guy, Jack. His name comes up as being, involved with Tupac back in the day. And, he's supposed to be an extortion guy in the business. And he goes, yeah, well, we have him out here. We think he might be ripping off Colombian drug dealers. We're not sure what we got, but we have a source. I'm like, all right, well, let's put it all together. So I find out from a source that Jack goes to this La Mirtage Hotel in Beverly Hills like every Friday night, and he has guests, usually like 3 other people. They have dinner and they leave. So I call the sheriffs and I say, hey, listen, why don't we set up and we'll go grab him. So we go to the La Mirtage Hotel. Jack shows up. He brings the people in for dinner. We got the Beverly Hills PD waiting outside. As soon as dinner is over, everybody swoops in, pull Jack's car over. He's with the minister of Gabon, Africa's daughter. Some like weird, like a designer, a local like Beverly Hills, designer or something like that, and whatever. So we end up grabbing Jack. We throw him in, and I make a play for him. I go, look, dude, you're going back to Haiti, or you can come out and you got to check in with me. You're on parole, to me, kind of thing. And so Jack agreed to it. So he wasn't sent back. At the last minute, we got Jack out. The problem with Jack was a real gangster. He wasn't a rat. He wasn't somebody who provided information to anybody where he testified or did anything of that nature. So what happened is Jack and I would call each other like gentlemen, so to speak. And I would say to Jack, like, this guy World is shooting at 50, blah, blah. Do me a favor, get me his phone number. Get me his phone number. That's the most Jack, I think, ever cooperated. Because Jack had his own problems. He had problems with Jimmy Ace shooting at him in Miami. He had...
Jimmy Ace or Jimmy Henchman?
Jimmy Ace is Jimmy Henchman.
Oh, okay. I didn't know I heard him.
Yeah. He had problems with the World, Damian Hardy and those guys, because they had Little Kim for a bit, and I think World kicked Kim out of a moving car, if I remember correctly.
I don't remember this well.
So, and then he had problems out in Beverly Hills with some guys. So, he was no real position to give me any information that, that I really needed.
Oh. And
he didn't want to be in that position. And the only reason he talked to me is because I was his ticket to stay in the United States. So what could Jack have given me? People he extorted from? Jack got to the stage of his career where he was like a gentleman gangster. He was doing some pot deals on the side, doing some heavy-duty pot deals with some Mexican guys. But he was throwing parties out in Beverly Hills. He was making a decent coin. He had a real nice place. So what was Jack going to give me?
Right. It sounds like a nice way to put it as dry snitching.
Nice way to put what?
How you're putting it is like a nice way of saying dry snitching.
No, I mean, he never dry snitched anybody. I mean, if he gave me the phone number, he gave me the phone number.
Right,
That is cooperating. That is whatever. Absolutely. But there's a lot, I've met a lot of gangsters. There's been a lot of high-level gangsters that have cooperated with law enforcement. Greg Scarpa, you know, if you look him up, you know, they used to call him the Grim Reaper. He killed probably more people than any mobster ever had. He was working with the feds. He survived. I mean, so, but then again, I went back and I arrested Jack the second time and had him deported. So
Why was
that was that. So I don't know if it was 2004, 2005 maybe.
But why did it get reported to?
So the problem with having a lot of informants is they call all the time. And we got a call from an informant that said that he was at a club called Monroe's, and Haitian Jack was with MC Light and some other people, and some guys started messing with him. So he escorted the women outside of the club. He came back in, he chased the guys around the club, shooting at them as they dove under tables. I think he shot one guy in the legs, maybe two, I don't remember.
Yeah.
And my guy was outside and called me up and said, hey, Jack just shot a couple of people. Actually, he called my partner up. So, yeah. So I said, Houston, we have a problem. Our source is now gone rogue. And I called Jack up and told him to meet me in the Hyatt House, a hotel on the Sunset Strip. Jack came up to meet me. The guys are waiting for him, came out from behind the wall, grabbed him. He ended up taking a plea on the gun charge and went to the Dominican Republic. Somebody ended up writing some treatment, some Hollywood treatment, threw my name on it, making it look like Jack was like an undercover informant for the NYPD or something. None of it was ever true. But yeah, I talked to Jack like a gangster, and like a real rare relationship between a gangster and an investigator. And hey, I need a favor, just get me this number, something like that. Mm-hmm. But Jack never put any of his friends. Jack could have given me 100 people. And you know what I mean? He wasn't looking to be my friend. He wasn't looking to gain favor with me, and he could have. So I was waiting for Jack the day I needed him to get something from him, and that day never came. But just by talking to me, did he break the rules? Yes. But where was he going to go? To Haiti? You know what I mean? So that's my take on it.
So did he, when he broke the rules, especially when it comes to shooting people,
right?
How come he didn't do any real hard time, or did he? I'm not sure.
No, I mean, I can't think of what. I mean, you get shot in the legs by Haitian Jack. Do you tell the police that Haitian Jack shot you in the legs? No. If you get shot in the legs by Haitian Jack, you probably, because he just ripped a bag of money or a bag of kilos from you.
Right. If I'm a civilian.
So he wasn't a guy. He was a real gangster. He didn't go into he didn't stick up mom and pop stores. You know what I mean? He was shooting other bad guys. So right. I don't have a problem with that.
Right.
I don't condone it, but I don't have a problem with that.
Right.
But I like Jack. I thought Jack was he's one of my favorites. He probably hates me for saying this now, but it's out there that he cooperated with me, and he really didn't. He played the game to stay here another day, and I always got a kick at him. And I tell you what, he tried to go legit. He got himself involved with these socialites out in Beverly Hills, threw some big parties, got all these big name stars to show up at the parties, Stevie Wonder, Aretha Franklin. You know what I mean? Can anyone else do that? Could Jimmy Ace do that? You know what I mean? No. Jack was a special kind of gangster. But yeah, was he a murderer? No. Was he a guy that put a hole in you? Absolutely.
Was he an extortionist?
Yeah, but I think, I've heard stories of Jack taking watches off, like in the beginning, the early days, taking watches off guys like Puff and Jay-Z and stuff like that. What's true and what's not true, I don't know.
Wait. You just said, is that a fact? He took a watch off of Puff. Do you know?
I think that's true. I think before he got Wolfie and those guys,
Okay.
According to Jack, too, Wolf saved
Puff.
Puffy on more than one occasion, more than just, from, the Atlanta situation. So, at any rate, people are going to have a hard time understanding the kind of relationship I have with Jack, and I really respected him as a gangster, but did he hurt people? Yes.
Understood.
But was he better than all the other guys in that crew? Guys like Tut? Tut's a piece of garbage. Tut's a real horrible human being. Jack had a side to him where he could get famous stars to come and throw a party with him. You know what I mean? Guys like Tut, Scooter, those guys were, amateurs. Jimmy Ace, Jimmy had enough to get the game, and then he lost everything, because he wasn't smart.
Right. Let me ask you this. Before we move on to those guys. If Haitian Jack was not here and alive, let's say he passed on,
Right.
would your answer be any different?
No, not at all. I'm not hiding anything for him. And I would, if he had, I would. If he had given me information, I would hide that. But everything I'm telling to you is the absolute truth. I swear on my kids' lives.